Hi everyone, this is Brian with Anderson Pens, and today we're going to have a sneak preview of the Vintage Virtual Pen Show that's coming up. First thing I want to say before we get into the pens, all pens have been restored and are in fully working order. So if they're lever filler, the sack's been replaced. If it's a vacuumatic, diaphragm's been replaced. All have been tested and inked except for new old stock pens, and they are all in working order and they write as they should. Also, cartridge converter pens will either come with a cartridge or in some cases the pen will come with an included converter. So you will get either a cartridge or a converter on all cartridge converter pens. Next up, Japanese pens are all graded by their Japanese guidelines. So if it's a fine Japanese nib, it's going to be a little bit finer than a Western nib. So all Japanese pens are graded how they were made. So if they say medium on them, they may run a little bit finer. And let's go over the dates real quick. After the preview today, starting at noon today, Thursday, April 29th, in store for our in-store customers, from noon until 7, we have extended hours. We're going to be going through and selling all the pens in the store. Online will take place Friday, April 30th, somewhere around 9 in the morning. So if you're local, your chance to get an early preview is today. But let's take a look at the pens. During our Vintage Virtual Pen Show, we are offering a special deal. Any pen, vintage pen over $100, we are offering a Girologio leather, black or brown, 3-pen zip case for only $10. Normally a $22 case, but you buy any pen for $100 or more, and the case is only $10. All right, let's take a look at some Esterbrook's. Here I have a very early 1932 Esterbrook Morocco red V-clip, very earliest fountain pen that Esterbrook ever made in the United States. This one is museum quality, very, very nice. Nice imprint. Lever filler, of course. We've got stainless steel nib, and we've got the original flat feed. No cracks. This one is really, really nice. Very hard to find pen. Next up, I've got this Esterbrook dollar pen. This is in the desirable green, bluish green cracked ice. Very good condition. Lever filler again, of course. Just a slight little bit of discoloration in here, but overall very good for this particular model. Again, we've got a steel nib, this time a 3000 series Sunburst nib. And you've got your flat feed. Very beautiful pen, very, very hard to find. Also, we have the Esterbrook dollar pen here in white cracked ice. This is the rarest of all the cracked ice variants. It's not yellow, it's white. The yellow is a much darker color. But again, lever filler. And we've got, again, stainless steel nib. Renew point, so you can change it out with any of the regular renew points. But this is very hard to find pen in excellent, excellent condition, no cracks, ready to go. Next up, I've got the Esterbrook Renew Point Demonstrator. This is a very unusual pen. This is a desk pen that actually has a special section built in so that to make it easy to test out the renew points, the nibs, you just slide it in there. There's a clutch in there. This is a more desirable imprint variation. There's a couple different imprint variations, but this would eventually go in a stand, and then at the store you would go and you would pick this up, select the nib, easily slip it in there without having to screw it in and test it. Very, very hard to find, especially in this imprinted version. There's a screen imprint version as well, but this is the one that's actually imprinted into the barrel. So excellent condition, very, very hard to find. Next up, Esterbrook. This is a transitional model. Just before 1947, a couple years there. Our Esterbrook imprints on the barrel, lever filler. We've got a nice 9000 series nib in there. And this is the version with the 3-rib jewel on the top. No imprint on the clip. A really nice a nice Art Deco design in this beautiful gray. This is the full-size model. Next up, I got an Esterbrook LJ in copper. Beautiful color. These are standard 1948 pens, all lever fillers, steel nib. Ready to go. Beautiful color. Got an Esterbrook J full-size model in copper. These have the larger jewels on the top than on the barrel end. Steel nib. Beautiful condition. Esterbrook SJ in green, lever filler. Nice patterning. There's your renew point. This is the smallest size pen that Esterbrook made in the J series. We've got an LJ here in green. Interesting olive kind of coloring on the barrel. We've got a 95-55 steel nib in there. Excellent condition. Next up, the nice big green J here. Really shines nice. We've got a nice 26-68 nib on there. Nice medium point. We've got a gray SJ here. This is one of the more darker variants in the color, which is always a little bit more desirable. SJ, we got again a 26-68 nib, so it's a medium point. Got a gray J here. This is a nice pen. This one actually has the original stickers on the cap for the nib, the 26-68, and then the pricing for the model. It's got the J model on there, and of course it's got a 26-68 nib on it. Lever filler. Really, really very clean pen. Full size J. We've got another J here. Nice darker patterning. Full size gray. Lever filler. We've got a 1500 series nib on there. Moving on to blue, I've got a blue LJ here. Nice, long, slender pen. We've got a nice 95-55 nib. Now this is a very scarce nib. It has the big imprint version, whereas normally it's a standard small imprint, but for some reason on the 95-55 Gregs, they did this really cool large imprint. Very hard to find, much harder to find than any other 95-55 variant. But a cool nib, not often found, nice LJ, and they post very nice length. Next up, full-size J in blue. Nice dark color on the barrel. 1500 series nib on there. Good size. There's your posted size on the J. Next up, I've got this nice little SJ in red and really darker color again here. And these SJs post very well. Nice in the hand. We've got a 95-50 9000 series nib on here. Very nice, nice polish on it. And again, lever fillers only fill from the bottle. Next up, I've got an LJ in red, the long slender version. Nice different patterning there. I got another 1500 series nib in the pen there. Now, classic black. Black never goes out of style. Look at this, a black J. I always like these because they polish up really, really nice. We've got a nice 25-56 fine point nib in there. Very classy. Full-size model. Here's another one. This one is a black J, but it has the Bell Systems Property imprint on it. So Bell Systems Property used a lot of Esterbrook J's, primarily black, sometimes red and other colors, but Primarily this size in a J with the imprint, and they're often found. In this, we've got a nice 9000 series nib, which is usually what you found on the Bell Systems pens. So nice pen. It's a must in any collection. If you don't have a Bell Systems property Esterbrook, you should have one, but full-size J. Next up, another black J, pretty much same as the others. We've got a nice 9000 series nib on there, 9550 extra fine. Nibs are removable, of course, unthread them, and then you can put in a new nib. A nice, classy, black, full-size model. Next up, a little something different. This is an earlier pen. In Esterbrook, it's called the Model B. This is circa about 1941, so about 6-7 years earlier than the J series. It's a flat top. We've got the imprint on the top of the cap. Our Esterbrook and Company imprint instead of the standard Esterbrook imprint. Other things, the lever is a little bit more simplified. And in this guy, we've got a 95, looks like a 9550 extra fine nib. And these seem a little chunkier than the standard pens just because they're not tapered. But this is the biggest sized pen Esterbrook made in the period. And we call them a dollar pen because they used to cost $1 when they were new. Next up, another black J. This one is really, really nice condition. You can see the shine on it. And again, we've got a nice 9000 series nib in there. These pens will write all day. They're really great pens. Full-size model. And one last, we've got a very unusual LJ, the long, slender version in black, but with the Bell Systems property imprint. Like the other one, which was a J, we have the same imprint, but this is much less common to find a Bell Systems imprint on anything other than a J. So an LJ is a little bit harder to find if you collect the variants. Again, we've got a nice 9000 series nib on there, 9668 medium, really a nice nib. We've got the later spoon lever on there, and really a nice pen. Let's look at some color here. We're getting into color. I've got another gray J again. Now this particular one has an earlier imprint. It is a double jewel J, the largest size, but it has the 1947 imprint on the barrel without the rights reserved, the registered trademark symbol. Steel nib, of course, 2000 series. Lever filler, really nice coloring on this pen. We got a gray LJ here in a little bit lighter of a gray. You can see the difference in the patterning here. Lever filler, the long slender version. We've got a nice, looks like a 2968 broad point nib on this one. Let's take a look at a green SJ here. The shorter version, we got a lever filler, nice color. We've got a really nice 9556 fine point nib on here. This is an earlier version of the nib. Nice writing nibs, and good size even posted. We've got a green J here, the full-size model. This has a little bit different color and texture on the barrel and on the cap. A very interesting look. Again, we've got a nice 9550, looks like an extra fine nib on there, and we've got the later spoon style lever on it. Full-size pen, nice looking. Let's take a look at a red J here. Full size, what we've got? We've got a 1550 extra fine nib on it. Nice shine here. We've got a little bit of a nick in the body, but a little wabi-sabi. A couple of marks on here, but overall really, really nice. These pens hold up so well for being a 70-year-old pen. You just wouldn't know it. Got an Esterbrook SJ here, the short and slender version. We've got this more variegated pattern on here, spoon style lever. We've got a 1551, which is often overlooked as it's actually one of the better nibs in the series. It's a medium point, very smooth, and really nice, nice looking pen. If you don't like a large pen, the SJ is really a fantastic size. One more SJ in red, and we've got the earlier spade style lever. Nice polish, nice finish on this one. Here we've got a 9556 fine point nib on it. Real nice nib. We've got this nice dark lines on here. Really a nice patterning on that one. Let's look at a copper here. This is a copper J. Nice big pen. It's got a nice kind of swirly pattern almost. It kind of goes off to the side. We've got a nice 9000 series nib on here. Looks like a medium point. Really a cool pattern on this. The cap is really super cool. Copper is always one of the favorite colors in the series. Here's another one, J in copper. This one's a little bit more interesting. It has some more plain spots over here, but then darker on this side. Each piece is unique in the way the patterning shows up on the pen. Earlier spade style lever, and in this guy we've got a 2968 broad point nib. Really nice, nice nib, and this one's got an earlier semi-flat rounded feed here. So a little bit earlier nib. Next up, one of the more desirable colorings in the series, the SJ here in copper, but this is a very dark version. You can see it's so dark. It's so much different than the other colors. Some collectors refer to this as root beer. Esterbrook never named it anything other than copper, but as you see, there are color variations between most of the colors. This one's got a little bit of something going on here, a little bit of a bite mark or something, but really overall, very hard to find these darker colors. So I got a 1555 Greg fine point nib on here. Nice looking dark cap. Really a stunning piece when you can find these. Next up, I have another Esterbrook Model B. The dollar pen, this time in green. We've got an interesting darker cap than the barrel, and this is common. This is how they came out of the factory. It's not a mismatch. It's very common to see this. I have new old stock examples that are this way. We've got a 2556 fine point nib on here, steel nib. Again, this is the full-size Model B. They're a little bit chunkier, a little bit bigger. But overall, not huge. Very nice two-hole clip. We've got the imprint on the top of the cap. And last but not least, one of my favorite colors in the Esterbrook series. This is the Esterbrook SM Deluxe. This is a color called Sand. These were interesting pens. They came out in the late 40s and the 50s. Trying to compete with Parker and the 51 using a metal cap. These have darker burgundy jewels to go along with the sand barrel. And this particular version, there were two versions of the SM Deluxe. The first version had a spring-loaded clutch cap. So this is a friction fit cap, and you can actually, there's a spring in there and you can see it'll push in and out. The later versions had a screw cap, but this has this clutch here. We've got a nice, this is one of the later just marked broad nibs. Essentially, it's a 2968 broad steel nib. And they post well. And then this is essentially an LJ sized pen. So it's the same length as a J, but it's slender. Different imprint on the clip. And just a really cool pen. All right, next up we're going to take a look at some Pilot pens. Starting off here, I've got an early Pilot here with a really super cool clip. You press down on this top button here, and then the clip opens up. I like this. This is a 60s era Pilot. We've got a nice gold nib there. We do have some engraving here on the kanji. Now this pen uses the short Pilot cartridges, of which I've included one, and then it comes with this little adapter here where you could put another cartridge in the back, so you could have two at once. But it fits in there like that. And this essentially is a pocket pen. Just an interesting Pilot with a really cool clip. Next up, I've got a Pilot Elite. This is a really pretty cool pen. This is in sterling silver, but then it has kind of like a lacquer over the top. You can see the silver is lined underneath. There are a couple marks on the barrel here and there, and around the Elite symbol where the lacquer may have worn off, but really pretty cool pen. Red jewels on the cap and the barrel end. We've got a burgundy section here and a nice, this is an 18 karat white gold nib in a fine point. It's what they call kind of a thumbnail nib. We got a really cool little decorative band here. A little bit thinner pen. It posts real nice, real deep, but it would be considered a full-size pen. So sterling silver, and it's marked on the back of the cap, sterling silver, early Pilot Elite. Next up, we're going to take a little bit more modern approach here. I've got a Pilot Grants. This is a brass barrel. This is a fairly reasonably recent pen, but black. We've got the Grants logo on this 14 karat nib, and you'll recognize it's very similar in size to the number 5 size nibs that they have today. But it's got the G on there, cartridge converter, and it's a friction fit cap with a nice stamp. Really excellent condition. Brass barrel, it's got nice weight, and it posts very securely. Nice pen. Next up, I've got an early Pilot here. This is an L60V, and it's got a gold fill cap. We do have a gold-plated steel nib, but boy, does this thing write really great. You'll see there is a little bit of the plating coming off of the nib. I elected to leave it on there. We could have taken the plating off completely, but I think this looks pretty okay. And it's got basically a mostly hidden nib, and it is a cartridge converter pen, so it will fit the full-size converter. But a cool pen, it writes very well, nice posting length, a little bit unusual. Next up, I've got a Pilot in red with the gold fill cap here, and this is a cool pen. It's got your little thumbnail nib with your gold nib, but this one is a self filler, and it uses what's called a switch filler. So you have this bar, and then there's a button on the end here, and you just flip this switch down and up, and it compresses the sac inside the pen and will suck in ink. So only fills from the bottle, and very neat filling system by Pilot in the 60s. Next up, I've got a full-size Pilot here in kind of a champagne color. I've got some red ends. I've got this cute little decorative pattern on the clip, and we open it up, and we've got a 14 karat gold nib. Really cool. I like this this little design here, the way the nib looks. Cartridge converter pen, fits your standard Pilot cartridges. But neat full-size pen with a 14 karat nib. Next up, another Pilot. We've got a really cool kind of a crosshatch pattern here. A neat patterning on the barrel and the cap end. We've got some nice reddish jewels on there. And again, we've got a burgundy section here with a gold nib. Looks like an extra fine thumbnail style cartridge converter pen. Next up, I've got a pocket pen. Here's a Pilot Elite. This is a pretty neat pen. It has really cool engraving here on the barrel and on the cap. Has this very neat cap band. I always like that the Japanese pocket pens have sometimes really cool bands there. Nice condition overall. White section on this one with a white gold nib, fine point. These are cartridge only, so nice Elite. Next up, another Elite, this time in more of a pinkish, a very light pink color. Not marked Elite, but it does have the same, a very similar, almost an arabesque pattern on the cap. A little bit different design on the ring here. Really, really excellent condition. Another white section, another white gold nib and a fine point. Cartridge only. Next up, another cute little Pilot pocket pen. This time we've got a dark pink barrel. We have this cute little flower pattern on the cap. It's just adorable. We've got sometimes on these you do see a little bit, the caps don't wear as well, a little bit small little mark there. Overall, really nice. We've got a gold ring here, faceted, and a matching section, and a gold fine pointed nib here. Cartridge only. Next up, a little more unusual pen from Pilot. This is ivory with a matte gold finish on the cap, and there's the body. Now this is a gold-plated steel nib, and this has the Gakken logo on the cap. Gold-plated steel nib, nice, beautiful ivory color, a little bit different shape on the section for the nib there, a little bit different. Cartridge only, really a pretty neat pen, and the cap is in excellent condition. This pen is just really, really very, very clean. Now for something a little different, this is a Pilot, this is a Super 200V. This is really a super cool pen. So this is a full-size pen. Cap is in excellent condition. Got the big gold V on there. And this is a cartridge converter pen. It has this very wide ink window here. A nice big nib, gold nib. Post's really nice. This is a very neat pen. The cap has got this very distinct shape to it. The clip, very, very wide travel on the clip. Very super cool pen. I like this a lot. But nice girth on it. Big nib. Nice unusual pen. Next up, I have a similar one. This time we've got the black E, same style cap and clip, a little bit smaller ink window, so this is also a cartridge converter pen, and a 14 karat gold nib. And they post again very well. It's a nice full-size pen. Next up, a very, very nice Pilot Custom. This in the metal with the striped pattern. You do see these clips are a little bit different material, and they do have a tendency to scuff up a little bit. This one is actually not too bad. We got the black in there. We have the early Pilot logo on the top of the cap. And these use the nice Elite style nib on there. Big nib, white gold, and these were in the 70s. This one's a fine point. But cartridge converter. Really a nice, solid, decent weight for a pen. Really a fantastic model. Very, very desirable Pilot Custom in the stripe pattern. Next up, I've got another full-size pen, this time a Pilot black with gold trim, but we've got a stainless steel gold-plated nib on here. Nice writing pen, cartridge converter. Nothing fancy, but just a really good, inexpensive gold-plated nib. And the cap kind of snaps on the back to post. Neat little pen. Next up, I have this really pretty cool custom grandee, and it's got the distinct grandee clip here with the little hole there and the opening there. Unique nib. We've got this essentially this is the clutch for the cap to snap onto. A little bit different style nib. You see how it wraps around and then tucks in underneath. Gold nib, fine point cartridge converter. We do have an imprint on the back of the section. But super nice pen. It's big. It posts nice. Good writing pen. And a nice solid snap to it. Next up, I've got another black and gold Pilot. Another stainless steel, actually, I'm sorry, this is a 14 karat nib. Very common looking pen. There's nothing fantastic about it in terms of style, but it's got a nice size nib, and the barrel girth is pretty decent. Nice full size pen and a unique kind of interesting clip there. So really, really good condition on this one. Next up, I've got a full-size Pilot in a kind of a dark pink with some gold trim. We've got some of the gold plating on this is wearing off a little bit, but this was an inexpensive pen. Again, we've got a gold-plated steel nib here, matching pink section. Nice writing pen. You can put a cartridge or a converter in there, and a nice, very smooth, much like the E95, how the cap goes on very smoothly. That's what we've got here. Next up, a neat Pilot in all stainless steel. So this is a nice heavier weight pen. We've got a little bit bigger cap here, chunkier clip, but it's short. Pull this off. I've got a black section. There's our nib, steel nib, and put that on there. It pulls really nice. Again, cartridge converter pen, inexpensive, something you can throw in your bag, and you don't have to worry about it getting damaged or scratched up because it's stainless steel, and if you needed to, you could polish it. You can see some desk wear there, but no dents, dings, anything like that. Really nice. Next up, I got a nice little Pilot pocket pen. This is a pretty cool little pocket pen. It has engraved rings on the cap band. So these are not plated or anything. They're actually engraved in there. So they're never going away. We've got the Pilot logo on the clip. Nice, decent weight. Here again, we have the trim ring here. We've got a nice nice nib on here, fine point. Looks like a steel nib, but very nice smooth cap, and then posted is a really nice length. Really neat looking pen, very clean. Next up, I've got another one exactly like it. We have two of them. We have one in a fine and one in a medium. This one's the medium nib. Again, steel nib, cartridge only on these, and that same cap band. You can run your fingernail in it, and it's really just a neat effect. Pilot logo there. Cool stainless steel Pilot pocket pen. Next up, a really neat Elite. This one is black, but it has the sterling silver crosshatch ciselé pattern on the cap, and it's really neat. It will tarnish if you want to let it do so, but I've taken the liberty of polishing off the high points here. We still leave the black inside the lines. It gives it a nice look to it. But we've got an Elite style nib here, extra fine. And this is 18 karat white gold this time. So nice big nib, cartridge only, and it's just a really neat look with that cap, that ciselé pattern. You see, as typical, we've got a couple of tiny marks on the clip, but really overall very clean. The sterling itself is very nice, and that big nib. It's just a really good looking pen. Next up, another cool little Pilot pocket pen. This one with flowers on it again. Really neat with this cool cap band here, faceted cap band. Light pink, very similar to one we had earlier. Gold nib, fine point on it. Really a cute little pen. And the length is posted. It's just right for just about most people. So nice pocket pen. And last but not least, we have another Pilot pocket pen, this time in black with gold trim. This one here, semi-hooded nib here, semi-hooded nib, and really kind of a little bit thinner than the rest of them, than the rest of the pocket pens. It has this beautiful, elegant clip. I always like this style. Very nice, and kind of a neat little variant on the pocket pens. All right, let's take a look at some platinum pens. Here I have an earlier platinum, and this is a 66 250, black with gold trim and a gold champagne colored cap. As with many of these Japanese pens, the caps don't seem to hold up as well as the rest of the pens, so there's a couple little dings of wabi-sabi in there. Not necessarily dings, but wear on the cap. And we've got the platinum nib on there, a nice gold nib, and it's a friction fit cap. Very tapered pen. This is kind of a neat pen, and it has this cool clip that kind of rounds up over the top. Platinum logo, a nice gold nib on this one. Next up, I've got a really nice stainless steel platinum. This one is black, and then it has this cool matte black clip. We've got black jewels on the top and a stainless steel jewel on the bottom. Really, really pretty neat. And you open it up and we've got a white gold nib. And it posts really nice. It posts so that the stainless steel is all together. We've got a little trim ring there. Pretty cool pen. It's got some weight to it. With the metal, it's a little bit girthy and unposted. It's a pretty neat pen. This is a very cool pen. We got some pocket pens here, black with champagne, and a nice cap on this one. There we go. Take a look at the gold nib. Cartridge only. Another one, same kind of idea, black, kind of a champagne-ish cap. We got a couple spots on the cap, not too bad. 14 karat nib. Really nice, a nice pen. Pocket pen, something you put in your bag and use often. Another pocket pen, black, gold trim. It's got this cool 3-star clip, gold nib. And it got this cool cap band here with a little wavy on it. Overall, pretty okay condition here on the cap. They got a couple little marks, but it's a really pretty neat pen. Writes great. Next up, another black with champagne. Take a look at the cap. There are a couple small dings in there. But again, gold nib, cartridge only. And I've got another one here, black. This is a little bit more goldish on the champagne side. And a small ding in the side of the cap here, a little bit of wabi-sabi going on. Black. And here we've got a nice 14 karat gold nib. And a lot of these platinums will have this transparent, translucent feed here. So you can see the ink. Cartridge only. Next up, I've got another full-size platinum. This is a pretty interesting pen. It has an engraving on the barrel for World Trip Remembrance, Sato. And that's kind of a neat engraving. But this is a nice brushed gold cap. We've got a nice gold nib on there. And it's really a nice full-size pen. Little thumbnail style nib and a jewel on the bottom. Neat pen. Cool Honest 60 logo on there for the platinum. Next up, another full-size pen. This is a later model. This looks to be a PTL 5000. Some of you may remember these pens. Inexpensive gold nib pens. This was an 18 karat nib on this one. And looks like looks to be a fine nib. But cartridge converter, resin barrel, full-size, nice pen in this burgundy. Another full-size platinum here, this time a Riviere, like a burgundy marble appearance. We got some red jewels on there. This is a gold-plated steel nib. You can kind of see some of the plating has worn off the steel, but a nice writing pen nonetheless. Burgundy section, and a nice thinner model with the snap cap. Next up, another full-size platinum, 66 probably here, with a gold nib. We get a little different pattern there. I really like these, how the shape is so tapered at the ends. It just makes it a really neat looking pen, and it has the benefit of posting very deep, so you don't end up with a long posted pen. So full-size platinum, really a neat pen. We've got a couple of marks on the cap, but nothing too major. Next up, one of my favorites. This is, I call this president size. It's not really a president, but it's about the biggest pen they made at the time. Plastic, we've got the platinum logo on the top, with this really fun little imprint on the clip. We've got the platinum 18 karat mark there. So of course the large 18 karat medium pointed nib on here. Look at this section. This thing is beautiful. Cartridge converter, of course, large pen, and it posts wonderfully. This is a fantastic pen. One of my favorites in the vintage platinum. Next up, another pocket pen. This time another silverish, champagne-ish. We've got some desk wear here. Nothing too major, but this adorable light pink section with the solid gold nib, and here you can see that translucent feed again. So cute little bit thinner even pocket pen. Next up, I've got a platinum full-size pen, Belage. Forgive me if I pronounced that wrong. Nice brass barrel, metal barrel with gold trim on it. Snap cap, and I've got a 14 karat, looks like a fine point nib on here. Nice full-size pen, classic black, kind of a neat clip, almost reminiscent of Sheaffer even. Nice size pen. Next up, a pen that I keep refusing to keep, the Platinum Arabesque model. This is really a fantastic pattern on this pen. Just a cool as a texture, you can feel it. Black section. It has this really nice big white gold nib, and interesting little the way this comes out. You see there is a little bit of some looks like some shrinkage here on the section. It's not terribly noticeable, but it is there. Beautiful pattern pen. A very nice example of an early 60s platinum. Next up, another very cool platinum. This time we've got almost a maquillé pattern engraved into the steel here. So it looks like I've got some pheasants on the cap and the barrel and some bamboo trees. We have a little bit of wear down here from posting. You can see where it's a little bit shinier than the rest, but overall really fantastic condition on this platinum. Got the platinum logo on the cap. And again, we have black section with a white gold nib. This time it looks like a medium point on there. Really a neat pen. Not too common. Very cool. Next up, I've got a platinum here. This is one of the leather trimmed variants that they did back in the 60s. Nice. This one actually is a very nice because you can't really see. It's hard to see where the seam is. It's very well done. It's been very good all these years. We've got a burgundy section. We've got the nice inlay here, and of course the nice gold nib. Really a stunning pen. These platinums and these Japanese pens with this nice inlay are just beautiful. Really a nice condition here. Leather with leather in the end jewels. Next up, I've got an early Platinum 3776. This one kind of neat. It has a very simple cap band here with the engraving in it. It's not like the current models, but we've got a solid black, you know the drill, 3776 nib. And this one actually looks to be a broad point. So that's kind of fun. We've got the trim ring on the end. Your standard platinum cartridge converter. Now I've got something a little bit different, another Riviera. This one's black, a little bit funkier clip here, but I have the original stickers on it. So this pen apparently was used. You can see a little bit of desk wear on the brass barrel, but nice looking nib, steel nib, gold-plated steel nib on this one. But just a fun little inexpensive pen with a kind of a cool clip. Let's look at some pocket pens. I've got another pink one here with the silverish, matte silverish cap. You can see a couple of the marks in the cap, nothing terrible. We got a nice gold nib on there in pink, translucent feed. Next up, for a little extra color, we've got a little bit of greenish teal with the silver cap. We've got a small little pinprick there, you know, some desk wear. But what a color this is. Gold nib. We've got the translucent feed. Really a neat color. And again, pocket pen, cartridge only. Next up, a really cool pocket pen. This time in wood. Platinum wood pocket pen. Neat clip. Logo at the top. And this time a black section with a 14 karat. This one looks like a medium nib, translucent feed. This is a little bit girthier of a pen, but because it's wood, it's really fairly light. Neat pen. The wood looks to be in excellent condition. No cracks, no drying, anything like that. So nice platinum, stunning platinum wood pen. Another pocket pen. This time champagne. Again, a couple of drawer marks. These pens were used. A nice, beautiful black section and a gold nib here. Here's another platinum pocket pen, black. Again, similar cap, similar wear marks. And again, a nice gold nib. This one very clean, nice clean feed. Cartridge only. And here we have a black Platinum 18. I always love this style of clip, a little bit different. It's got the rib on here and it comes up the top. We've got the wavy section here, or wavy cap band area. The nice 18 karat logo, which of course is for the 18 karat nib. And then again, we have this gold inlay set into this section. Really a beautiful, beautiful looking pen. And nice size posted. Next up, I've got a black with stainless steel cap, platinum. Really a nice heavy duty cap. Nice clip. Again, we've got a cool over the top. I like that look. And of course, gold nib, black section. But a neat cap. I like this one a lot. Let's take a look at some different patterns here. Here's a platinum pocket pen. This one has the bouquet pattern. Really cute. It does have a little bit of a mark up here and a little bit of a ding back there, but overall, very, very pretty good condition. Unique clip here that you don't see on many of the others. A little bit different. We've got this neat kind of light red section, 14 karat nib. And a nice size nib too. It's a nice width on it. And we have an adorable little, if you look at the detail on the clutch ring there, or the cap band ring. Next up, probably my favorite in the whole bunch. This is a really stunning little platinum, near mint. Look at these cute, adorable little butterflies. We've got some teal, we've got red. They're just cute, they're happy. Again, we have the same cool, like almost a feathered clip, white, ivory white section, 14 karat nib. Really a neat little pen. It's just hard not to be happy if you've got a pen with butterflies on it, I think. So really cool pen. That's my favorite of the bunch. Next up, a little bit different platinum pocket pen. This time, a little bit different shape. You see it's rounded. This has a lovely little tulip pattern on it, going all the way around the cap and the barrel. It has this fantastic little filigree cap band here. cute clip. But then it's got a pink section, and it's still pocket size. Pink section, 14 karat gold nib. Cartridge only. And last but not least, I've got a nice champagne pocket pen here. And again, it has a really neat braided cap band here. Neat imprint on the clip, your platinum logo, and then we've got some rings there. Overall, pretty decent condition. There's a little tiny mark on the side of the cap, but we'll open it up and we have this lovely pink section, nice long inlay, big gold nib. Really a nice looking pen. Next up, let's take a look at some Sailors. I've got a Sailor Mini here, a nice pocket pen, similar to some of the pilots we had. These imprints on this stainless steel cap, these are actually engraved. These are grooves in the cap. Really neat. So was the logo. Black with stainless steel cap, and then of course we have a 14 karat nib, and neat on the back. We've got a little bit of a metal jewel there. But a neat Sailor steel cap. Really excellent condition. Next up, another Sailor Mini, black with the gold trim. We've got a neat kind of cap band ornamentation there. Your standard black pocket pen, 14 karat nib. Nice looking early Sailor. And then I've also got another pocket pen here with the nice engraved Sailor logo on this cap. There's a tiny little ding there. Black. Stainless steel nib. Looks like it was probably gold plated at one point, but that has worn off. But a nice little cartridge Sailor Mini. Next up, I have a very nice full-size Sailor. This in a polished stainless steel. And this has a really neat clutch mechanism. You can see it here on this part here below the section. And it has a very lovely click to it. Nice solid gold nib. And really, this one is in very excellent condition. Nice posted and very clean. Very nice Sailor full-size pen. Let's take a look at another Sailor full-size pen. This one a little bit earlier. This is from the 50s probably. And again, check the descriptions for date codes and all that stuff. But nice, cool Sailor nib here. We've got the little cutout. It has this funky nib, or funky clip here. And we got the Sailor logo there. So a neat earlier Sailor. Got a couple little tiny wabi-sabi on the cap. Another full-size Sailor. This one I like a lot. It says a lot in just being black and gold. Neat clip here, lined clip. Friction fit, of course. But this one has the titanium iron gold-plated nib. And what this one is essentially a steel nib that has been plated. But this one, unusually, has a zoom nib on it. So it's unusual to come across a zoom TIGP nib. Old style engraving with the Anchor logo on the top. And really a neat pen. If you do collect some of the more unusual nibs, this one is very broad writer and a neat nib. Next up, a little something different. To go along with our little floral theme that we have on some of these Japanese pens. This is a Sailor 0.5 mechanical pencil. We've got some lovely little flowers on there. And it's kind of like a light pink shade to it with the gold trim. And no eraser, but you could probably get one to fit by using something else. But mechanism works, 0.5, cool little pencil. Let's look at some neat Sailor pocket pens. Here's a Sailor 21, marked there. It has a nice little arabesque pattern going on the cap and also on the barrel. We've got a couple little tiny marks, drawer marks there, nothing too bad. Pink section, we do have the gold inlay there, and of course the 21 karat gold nib. Neat pen, neat pattern. Next up, another Sailor pocket pen, Sailor Mini. This one I have what I call the sine wave pattern on the cap band. It's kind of neat, kind of a silver color. We do have a white section this time and 18 karat solid gold nib. Cartridge only. Next up, a little different kind of pattern on a cap. This one, pink roses on the cap, and it goes straight up instead of all the way around. You will see a little bit of wear on the cap here on this one. Pink barrel, we've got this metal end piece, pink section, and then of course a gold nib on the pen. So neat design on the cap. Next up, another really nice Sailor Mini. This one, nice slim clip on this. We've got black jewel on the cap, but a nice pattern here. Leaves on the cap and barrel. Ivory kind of white section here, and 18 karat solid gold nib. All right, next up, I've got a stainless steel Sailor here. Kind of a neat clip. This has the gold-plated steel F4 nib, cartridge converter, a nice solid pen that you don't have to worry about bumping around because of the nice barrel. Inexpensive, but really, really clean, good-looking, full-size Sailor. Back to the minis. I have an earlier one here. We've got an engraving in the barrel. Stainless steel cap, gold-plated clip. I've got a nice steel button on the bottom there. Black section, and then this nice gold nib here. We got the Sailor logo on the side. So nice heavier cap. So when posted, this is really a nice weight. Next up, another sine wave pattern on a mini. This one's got a little bit more wabi-sabi on the side of the cap, kind of a little mark there, but overall not terrible. Beautiful white section here, gold nib, and these write great. Cartridge only. Nice pens. And last but not least, I have this adorable Sailor Mini with the leaves on the looks like maple leaves on the cap band and on the barrel underneath the Sailor logo. Pretty clean cap. This time we've got a white section and we have an 18 karat gold nib. A little bit different style there, but real pretty design on the cap and barrel. Okay, so next up, I've got a mix of different brands for a few pens here. We're going to start with a couple of Japanese pens. This one I have here in front of me is a Ferme, which is quite an unusual pen in any configuration. This one in a stunning yellow with the original price tag. It does have a tiny ding in the side of the cap here for some reason. This pen is basically new old stock. We've got a nice nib on there. Really unusual. They take platinum cartridges, but they're difficult to find in any configuration, much less a really cool yellow pocket pen. So we've got a cool Ferme. I also have, this is it's marked World. It's a black with a gold cap. And this, a hooded nib. It's a gold-plated steel nib, but this has an internal bulb filler. So you squeeze the bulb and essentially a sack and it fills. You squeeze it a couple of times. Really a fun little pen. We got a metal jewel at the bottom. A fun little pen for not a lot of money, and it's good looking. Next up, I've got kind of an unmarked pen, probably also could be in the same family as the World. This time we've got the shiny gold cap, but with a purple pearlescent barrel. And we've got the gold-plated steel nib in there, and this guy also is a squeeze filler, aerometric style. All right, next up I've got another variety of different branded pens. Here I have a really kind of a neat Lamy multi-pen, and you can see it's in stainless steel, and you can see on the cap here we've got red, black, and then there's this gray mark there. And so this is, you turn it with whatever is up. So now I've got a red refill in there, And if I do it with that on top, oops, there's the black refill. And this way, with the gray up here, there is a mechanical pencil, and then you push the top to extract the lead. So a Lamy 3-pen multi-pen, vintage. It's got, you know, some wear marks on here, but it doesn't look like there's any dings or dents. Really a kind of a neat Lamy if you use multi-pens. Next up, I've got a Cross. I believe this may be a solo model, probably sometime from the 80s. A neat green marble, screw cap. It's got a gold-plated steel nib and a medium point, but boy, what a smooth writer. Will fit, this actually comes with the converter, so you are good to go. And a neat plastic Cross. Next up, just for fun, I've got a couple of unusual unbranded pens. This one is in a blue with a marbled style barrel. We've got a little jewel on the bottom. Stainless steel, gold-plated nib. Schmidt, medium point. Just kind of fun, and why not? Next up, if you like purple, here we go. Here's a little bit heavier pen in purple marble. It's kind of a brass barrel weight to it. We've got a little bit of a rubber section on there. And again, we have a gold-plated steel nib in here that actually writes pretty well. Your section here is indented a little bit so you can hold on to it. But just a fun, inexpensive little purple pen. Next up, I've got a Mont Blanc, vintage Mont Blanc from the 70s in the original box. Look at that, it's got a cool brushed finish to it. Open it up, and here it is. It's a Mont Blanc piston filler in an unusual gray color. Take a look at the jewels, they're in good shape. We've got the blue ink window here, and then that beautiful nib. But the piston filler is working in good condition. This is just really a nice Mont Blanc. So next up, I've got another inexpensive but fun pen. This one is marked Sergio Donati. It's an inexpensive pen, but has just a cool pattern. Almost reminds me of some of the Parker Sonnets. It's got actually a very nice writing, Iridium Point, Germany, gold-plated steel nib. But a neat little pen, something fun, not a terrible lot of money. And next up, I have just something completely different, a boxed Danny Trio. This is a cum laude, which is in the brown pattern with the gold trim. Beautiful, beautiful brown and black marbling on this. And this one does have the solid gold Danny Trio nib on here. Oftentimes these were sold with steel nibs, but this one has the two-tone Danny Trio nib. Very lightweight resin, but a beautiful, beautiful pen. The original box, it's near mint. Near mint, beautiful pen. All right, next up we're going to take a look at some Sheaffers. I've got a Sheaffer Targa ballpoint here in a nice silver plate. Very clean, nice pattern. If you like ballpoints, this is a nice thin size too. Also to go along with that, I do have one in, this one is in sterling silver with a nice crosshatch pattern on it. Another Targa ballpoint. Next up, I've got a really interesting Sheaffer Scriptsert cartridge pen set, and it comes in the original box, and what a cool box this is. And you open it up, and there are the pieces. So there's a cartridge fountain pen, steel nib, of course, blue with the gold cap, and then we have the mechanical pencil. So nice little set. Instructions underneath the pad here. Really very clean. Very, very clean set. Next up, I've got another Sheaffer box set. This time a little bit newer, but I've got this gold vintage pattern here on the reminder point ballpoint and the matching mechanical pencil. Twist on the pencil, but it has a really neat pattern, and they call it the gold vintage pattern. So in the box is kind of a red color to it. Next up, I've got another box Sheaffer here. This time around, this is a nice pink box. And look at this cute little Sheaffer. Now it does have Gene Shen's name on it, but it doesn't look like it was ever used. Gene apparently wasn't fond of blue or something, but lovely color. It's a matte blue. We've got the white dot there, clipless ballpoint, but then it comes with this cute little case here, pen case. Next up, another box Sheaffer. This time we've got the nice inlaid nib on the top. Here we've got a compact cartridge set, complete with the original metal tag. And the compact cartridge was named so because it does not fit the converter, so only fits cartridges. So subsequently you see that the barrel end is quite a shorter pen. But a nice, beautiful gold inlaid nib. Posted, it's a nice length. We do have the shorter, almost military style pocket clip on there. And then here we have the matching pencil twist for the set. And we've got chalk marks on the piece, on both pieces. So this is basically new old stock, but as new as they get. So in the original box. Next up, another box Sheaffer, this time a Targa in the blue box. We've got a stainless steel. This is the full-size Targa, and all stainless steel. And we've got a lovely, looks like a double broad or a broad nib on here. Steel nib, but just a nice big nib. These are really great pens. They got some weight to them, and the beautiful inlaid nib on them. So nice full-size Targa. And last but not least, I've got a Sheaffer, another cartridge Sheaffer here, new in the box. Look at this. Here we have the brushed cap. We've got the original sticker on there. You can see the chalk marks on the barrel for the price. And we open it up. We've got the dolphin style steel nib, but brand new. Never been used, new old stock in the box. All right, next up we're going to take a look at some Parkers. Start off with, I've got a nice blue pearl Parker Vacuumatic mechanical pencil, 2-band on the cap. We do have a name engraved on the side of the barrel. It seems to turn. I don't have any lead in here, but it seems like it's working properly. But a nice blue pencil. Next up, something completely different. This is actually Eversharp, so in the Parker Eversharp and later era. This is actually a pointer. So the whole pen comes apart and you would use it if you're giving a lecture or something, but it is imprinted for the Iowa State Bank and Trust Company in Iowa City, and you've got the Eversharp logo on the side. So a neat, if you're a teacher or something like that, it's kind of a cool thing that you can put in your pocket. A little bit of history. Next up, one of my favorite Parkers in the 70-80 time frame, the Parker Falcon 50. This one here in gray, silver, and nice, really a beautiful design on a pen, in excellent condition, stainless steel, really good to go. The clip looks good. These often crack, but this is in good shape. So a Parker Falcon 50, very nice pen. I've got a Parker 45 here in a dark blue with a stainless steel cap. We've got a steel nib, looks like a medium point. Parker 45s are great pens, really nice condition. Here's another 45, this time in black with the two-tone cap. We've got the gold clutch ring here, and we have a solid 14-karat gold nib. These nibs, of course, are replaceable, unscrewable just like Esterbrook's, but really classy look on this 45. I've got another 45 here, this time also in a dark blue, two-tone cap. Got the gold clutch ring and the 14-karat gold nib option on there. These always post very well. They post deep. Solid pen. Very underappreciated pen in my opinion. Next up, I've got a little bit different pen. This is a gold-filled lined pen here. I forget the model number of this off the top of my head, but it's a gold-plated steel nib. It's got this interesting texture to this section here, and it's kind of a fun little Parker. Got the later style clip. A little bit of wear to the gold plating on here, but otherwise no dings. It doesn't look like there's any dings or dents, and in good shape. Next up, I've got what I believe this is the Parker 25 in stainless steel. This one interesting because it has the IBM logo on the barrel. You can see the interesting logo there, and then it has this kind of conical shaped steel nib on it that actually writes surprisingly well. It has a little bit of a taper here, and so when you post it, it actually posts the same width. So kind of a neat pen if you're a fan of IBM or you like imprints. That's a little bit different one. That's kind of neat. Next up, I've got a nice Parker 51 Vacuumatic, this time with the sterling silver cap. It is in gray, and take a look at it there. Of course, 14 karat gold nib, Vacuumatic filler, fills only from the bottle. So nice, nice sterling silver cap. These were plated, and this one's actually survived better than most. You can see a little bit of wear on that rhodium plating, but actually really pretty good. If you've seen some of the other ones, this one's actually very excellent. Next up, another 51, another Vacuumatic, this time in black, and nice 14 karat nib. We've got the blue diamond is missing from the paint's missing from the blue diamond there, but we've got a nice gold filled cap, a little tiny micro ding there if you can see it, a couple here and there, but nothing too terrible. It was definitely used, but in excellent condition, and of course your Vacuumatic filler. Next up, Parker 45 in green with the two-tone cap. Nice color, and again, we've got a 14 karat gold nib on this one. Looks like an extra fine nib on this. These are cartridge converter pens. They will fit the current Parker cartridges and converter. So, next up, just for fun, just because I had it, a green transparent Parker Vector. Not an expensive pen by any stretch of the imagination. Nice stainless steel section. Really a nice writing stainless steel nib. But just kind of a fun, inexpensive throw-around pen that you don't have to worry about getting dinged up, or if you lose it, it's not a terrible lot of money. Next up, another 51, black, gold lined cap. Beautiful cap, look at that. Nice blue diamond up in the top there. And again, of course, 14 karat gold nib. Nice 51. Now we've got some English Parkers, this time here as a Parker Slim Fold in blue. These are going to be aerometric fillers, 14 karat gold nib, marked in England. This is a little bit smaller of a pen. Next up, this one is a Parker Senior Dual Fold. I know it doesn't look like the Senior Dual Fold you most of the time associate with that phrase, but this is English Senior Dual Fold, marked on the barrel, full size. Look at that girth in this lovely blue. And there's the big 14 karat England nib. And it's like the Slim Fold. It is an aerometric filler. Next up, continuing the blue theme, I have this very interesting lady dual fold, English again. And when you open it up, it has a hooded nib, just like a 51. Really kind of a neat pen. Again, this is also an aerometric squeeze fill style pen, but in a little kind of cute, tiny form factor with the 51 style, and even a big nib on it too. So, fun little blue pen. Next up, also from England, we have here another green model, this time junior, it looks like, and aerometric filling again, 14 karat gold nib. Really nice condition. These are they're almost bomb proof. They're very nice. Nice clip, nice design. And last but not least, on the English side of the Parker tree here, I've got a red Parker Victory. Red jewel on the top. Again, a nice big 14 karat nib. Looks like a medium to broad point. And Again, a aerometric squeeze style filler. Okay, I've got some boxed Parkers now. A Parker 45 in the box, gray two-tone cap. We've got the gold clutch ring and of course the 14 karat gold nib. Nice looking pen, very clean. A couple tiny marks on the bite marks on the bottom, but those could be polished out if you wanted. But in the box, box has got a little tear in the corner, but overall not too bad. Next up, we've got a Parker 61 in the original box. Take it out. It's the beautiful turquoise color. We've got the two-tone cap. The frosting is really very good on it, and jewels look good. Most importantly, we have this lovely gold nib here. The inlay is still in place, and sometimes those come out. And it's capillary filling only, which means it only fills from the bottle. You literally stick it in ink, and it absorbs the ink. So very nice in the box, turquoise Parker 61. Next up, I've got a Parker in the box here. Now this is a 2-pen box. I've got 1 pen in it. And it's got a spot here for Lemire Pen Shop in Milwaukee. But this is a Parker VP. It even comes original with the original hang tag, $15 back in the day. VP, it's got a fine nib on there, and then the Parker logo on the reverse, but nice gold-filled cap, and this really cool big nib, and a triangulated section here, and then you could, so you hold it there, but then you can rotate the nib. All right, next up we have a real treat, original boxed Parker 51 double jewel set. I have it in black, gold, filled cap. It does have initials on both pieces on the cap. And this particular example has a solid 14 karat marked on the top clip on both pieces. Solid 14 karat gold clip. Double jewel, vacuumatic. Open it up. Restored in working order. Not a first year, but a double jewel 51. We got the nice blue diamond is good there. Let's take a look at the pencil real quick. Again, marked on the back, 14 karat on the clip. Solid gold clip. It is a gold filled cap, lined in excellent condition. We've got initials on there too, and it's a twist pencil. Very, very clean set. Got the older style Parker logo. So really kind of a cool set here. Real nice piece. Next up, another 51 set, an original box. This is one that has a nice little piece on the top here. And this time around, we've got new old stock. This is the burgundy version. I do have an engraving on the cap here, but this has a sticker here, $5 in its day. And this isn't aerometric, and you can see this is just perfectly clean. Never inked. The pencil, still in its original cellophane wrap, which is very brittle. Has the original sticker on it. No engraving on the cap on that one. But nice aerometric set. Next up, in the box, Parker 75. Look at this. This is fantastic. What a classy pen these are. Tiny little ding right here on the side. But gold filled, flat tassies. There's your nib, beautiful. Your triangulated grip section. Really a nice looking 75. A nice snap on there. Cartridge converter will take the modern cartridges and converters. Next up, I've got a Parker set. This is a 45 Signet set. I do not believe this to be the original box, but here it is. This is basically new old stock. We've got the instructions. I have the hang tags for both the fountain pen and the pencil. $15 for the medium nib. Very nice, not engraved, no dings, dents. We've got a 14 karat gold nib on there. Really one of the nicest looking 45s is the Signet set. Let's take a look at the pencil here. Very nice, very clean, original $10 hang tag, twist mechanism. Nice 45 set. if you like 45s, this is kind of one of those you kind of have to have a nice signet. All right, next up, a little something different. I don't normally deal much in Parker 21s, but this is maybe one of the most outstanding Parker 21 sets I've ever come across. And it is as new as the day it was made, in the original cellophane wrap. And I'll take it out here, try not to damage the cellophane. These get a little bit orange and yellow over time, and they get brittle and they can actually crack. But look at this, brand new 21 Deluxe, original sticker. We've got this beautiful two-tone cap. You don't see that very often. A nice red color, no cracks in the barrel or in the hoods. It's never been inked. There's the original sack, aromatic squeeze sack. Very clean, a beautiful, beautiful set. I suppose you could write with it if you wanted to, but it is really a highly collectible piece here. Pencil, no sticker on the pencil, but again, two-tone cap, and it works just nice. Very, very minty, in the box, in the cellophane, with stickers, Parker 21 set. Next up, another really great Parker 51 set. I love these boxes with the brass on the ends. Open it up. Here we go. Another Parker 51 double jewel set. Very nice gold-filled cap. Again, I do have engravings on both pieces on this. Blue diamond has gone away, but the pen is really in nice shape. Double jewel, vacuumatic filling, restored, ready to go. This has a standard clip, unlike the other one, which was solid gold. And let's take a look at the pencil real quick. Nice, very clean pencil. There's the name engraving on it. Twist activated. Very, very nice set. Double jewel 51. Last but not least, I have another Parker 45 set here in the box. The box is maybe a little worse for wear, broken on the edge there, but not too bad. Another 45 signet set. This time this one is engraved in the cartouche area there, and you can see that this pen was used. So there's actually a mark here. You can see where the cap was posted. 14 karat solid gold nib. Really pretty clean though. There doesn't seem to be too much evidence of any other, no dings, no dents. Pencil again is engraved with the owner's name. Nice pencil, twist mechanism. Beautiful, beautiful 45 set. All right, next up we're gonna take a look at a couple of Waterman pens that we have. I have a box set here. This is the Waterman Super Lacquer. These are really cool. This is a ballpoint. Very nice. It's cap actuated, which is just different for Waterman, but it's got a nice blue lacquer on the pen. It's slim, slender, very nice condition. Doesn't look like it was used much, if at all. In the original box with instructions. Next up, another Super Lacquer. Supermaster in red lacquer. Look at that. What a neat color. Cap actuated ballpoint. Basically brand new in the box. Slim size, nice color. Let's look at another semi-modern piece. I've got the Waterman Harley Davidson model. This one in the chrome with the black. Very clean pen. I can't be certain, but it didn't look like this pen had ever been inked up. You've got the Harley Davidson logo on the big steel nib. And it's a cartridge converter filler. Cool clip on it. Really a neat pen. To go along with that, we have the same Harley Davidson, but this time in orange with the orange stripes. Again, very, very clean pen. Probably never used. Steel medium nib on there with the Harley Davidson logo. Neat pen. Next up, I've got a 1980s Waterman here. Black brass barrel. We've got the gold trim on it. And this one has was originally a gold-plated steel nib. The gold wash is pretty much all but washed away. There's a little bit of issue here at the nib on the top, but it performs just fine. And the gold is washed off. But a cartridge converter pen, inexpensive, not a ton of money. a good pen to use and not worry about. Next up, Waterman Expert in the blue marble. Again, brass barrel on this, gold trim. We've got the nice gold on the top jewel. The two-tone gold-plated steel nib. This in a medium. Cartridge converter pen. And I always like these. They have a nice weight to them. The cap snaps onto the barrel to post. Good size and a really nice writing steel nib pen. Let's look at some vintage Waterman from the 1940s. I have this nice copper-colored striped example, and this does have, it's a Canadian-made pen, so it's got the Canadian imprint. It does have a little bit of crystallization starting on the back here, you can see, but so far it is stable. The top looks good. You'll see it usually at the top too, but the top looks just fine. Nice triple gold band there. We open it up. And this is a big 14 karat. It is a firm nib. It is actually marked firm, but a nice 14 karat gold firm nib. Lever filler, ready to go, Canadian made. Beautiful color. Next up, this pen is, it maybe looks a little different than the rest. It has, it's a black Waterman, US made with a gold, matte gold cap, and you can see that the matte has kind of worn off a little bit on the back of the cap. I suppose one could just polish this all shiny if they wanted to. And it got the star in the front. But what really makes this pen just super, lever filler, is the fact that it has this original 1940s three-tined music nib. This is a flexible music nib. It will go from fine to quadruple broad with very little pressure. Very unusual to find Waterman music nibs, but here it is in a nice 1940s pen. Sometimes you'll find them in hard rubber pens, but this pen is going to be nice to use. There are two cracks on the nib we need to point out. There's one here at the base of the nib, which appears stable, and then there is a very tiny start of one on the left vent hole that is coming down. So you do have to be careful when you're pressing on it not to make that grow any bit, but in our use, it's been very, very stable and very fun to write with. A nice, nice flexible three-tined music nib. And next up, I've got a Waterman 100-year pen in the red acrylic. And nice imprint on the back here, 100-year pen. It does have a name engraved on the barrel. There does not appear to be any crystallization on the end. There is a tiny little piece of crystallization up here in the top, but it looks very stable. It does not have any spider webs or anything like that. Lever filler, this huge 100-year nib, and it is a firm nib. So it's kind of like a manifold. It's very firm. Very thick, but a big, beautiful nib. Look at that. Nice cap bands around the cap, nothing on the top, but a nice lightweight Waterman 100-year pen. All right, so let's take a look at some desk sets. I've got a Parker 45 with chalk marks on it. Really a cool taper on this. Steel nib, gold trim ring. We've got a little bit of marking there, probably can be cleaned up. Nice green felt, nice looking desk base. Parker 45. Next up, 51 Vacuumatic on this nice green and bronze marbled piece of marble. We've got a nice tray there. There's our 51. It is a Vacuumatic with a nice long taper, restored, ready to go. Check the descriptions, of course, on all these. Overall, looks in pretty nice condition, and it has the original Parker sticker on the bottom. So nice 51. Next up, a couple of Japanese pens. This is a Pilot desk pen, and it does come with a cap, gold-plated steel nib, cartridge pen, probably fit a converter in there as well. And we found a nice marble base to fit it in. It's got a little bit of a couple nicks and bruises on the side, but overall not bad. And it does seal up nice and tight in this base. Basic green felt on the bottom. So comes with a cap, that nice pilot. We've got a couple of nice platinums. These are very inexpensive platinum desk pens in a beautiful burgundy color, gold-plated steel nib. You can see the gold plating is wearing off a little bit on the nib, but it writes great. This is not a platinum desk base. It's a nice, big, heavy base, though. We actually tested this pen in the store for about a month, and it was first time every time. So nice, heavy base. Pen also does come with a cap. So we have that one, which is a darker base. We also have another platinum desk pen. Same idea. This one has basically a perfect looking nib. Doesn't look like this one's ever been used, with the cap, a little bit lighter base, and these are just great. So platinum desk pen. Next up, we're going to look at some of the Esterbrook's. This is a 117 model from Esterbrook in a walnut with a sand deluxe desk pen. Lever filler. It has this unusual 9555 big imprint on the nib, steel nib, fine point, but a nice slender walnut desk base. Actually have two of those. Here is another one, also with a 9556 fine point nib. And of course, they all have the black felt on the bottom. While we're looking at walnut, I've got the walnut in the 116, or what people call the 8-ball base, also with the sand desk pen, this time with the 2048 flexible fine point steel nib. Lever filler, only fills from the bottle. I have one last walnut 116. This time the sand pen has a 9668 medium steel point, and another good-looking desk set. While we're on the 116 8-balls, here's one in the Florentine blue. Very lovely color, very hard to find. Black pen with a 2284 signature stub nib on it. All right, here's a 116 8-ball in the classic black, with your classic black with crystal taper, and we've got a 2556 fine point nib. Your basic standard Esterbrook desk base. Got another one in black here, the 116, but this time we're going a little bit more stealth. We've got the black with the black taper, and it looks like we've got a 2556 fine point nib on this one as well. So nice, big, heavy ceramic bases on these. While we're on 116s, here's a 116 in gray with the gray marble desk pen with the crystal taper. Got the 1551 medium point nib. This one also has an original price sticker with the model number on the base. Very excellent condition, very nice. While we're doing stickers, here's one in the Rouge Red with a red marbled pen, which is a transitional model. It only has the Esterbrook imprint without the registered trademark sign. Couple little bite marks on the black taper, but overall pretty good for its age. Pre-47 desk pen, sticker on the barrel of the desk base. I've got another 117 slender here with matching in a kind of a seafoam green with a matching desk pen. It looks like a 2556 fine point nib, crystal taper, really a pretty color. Next up, our last 117 in a gray with a gray marble desk pen, clear taper, and this one also has that nice 2284 signature stub nib. Next up, I have an original 322 in black, which is basically a double 8-ball. This time, this comes with the original box. And we've got two desk pens. We've got a black with crystal with a 9668 and a black with red taper with a 2668 nib. Really nice find with the original box. Next up, we've got a 322, but the chain model. This was designed for countertop use at banks and post offices and things like that. So it tells you to please replace the pen in the socket when you're done. And on the bottom is the original piece of paper that you would pull off, and there would be adhesive under here so it would stay tight on the surface. Each pen, black with crystal and black with the red taper, 9556 nib on here. And on this one, we've got Looks like a 2000 series nib. So chained together so you can't take them off the case. Really neat desk set. We've got here our last lever-filled desk set. It's an Esterbrook Deluxe. It was the model 2112. Chrome trumpet. It's the oval size. They made them in 3 different sizes. You've got a black with crystal taper, and it looks like a 2968 broad pointed nib. So really neat. This was their executive deluxe style with cork on the bottom. Let's look at some dipless sets. These Esterbrook sets are called dipless, and what that means is they're essentially a dip pen, and there's an ink well, and you fill up the well with ink, and then the pen sits in ink. So with the renew point and the feed, you dip your pen less than you would if you're using a traditional dip pen. So that's why I call them a dipless. Base holds about an ounce of ink, and we have a black base here with a 9556 fine point in black. Nice 444. Next up, I have the 444 in the white model. So you can see the white inside the glass. Again, black with crystal taper. Looks like a 9556 fine point nib. Got another 444 in black, crystal taper on this, and it looks like we've got a 1555 Greg fine point nib on it. Next up, the 444 in red. Nice red, dark red color in there. Same black pen with, looks like a 9550 extra fine nib. And last but not least, I've got a 444 in the box. Feedmatic 2556 marked on the box, and we've got a 2556 on the black pen. We've got a couple of bite marks in the taper, but overall real nice in the white. So that is in the box. So there you have it, sneak preview for our vintage virtual pen show. Again, that starts in store today, April 29th from noon Central till 7 p.m. this evening, and goes live on the website tomorrow, Friday, April 30th, around 9 o'clock. So stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching. Be sure to check us out in our stores in Appleton and Chicago.